It's Charter California edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. In Ventura today on our roadshow, we are joined again by Erik Nasarenko. He is the deputy mayor of this beautiful city, and it is beautiful.
It's a fantastic place.
I had no idea. I mean, I grew up not far from here, but I don't know. I just didn't realize. And your city hall, good grief.
Yeah, it's a historic landmark. The temperature here, as you know,
Right.
65 to 75 degrees year-round. Fantastic people, strong school system, and it's really a jewel of the county.
And you must be proud of your people, because your people have been conserving water at a phenomenal rate. In the last years, conserved about 14%, and your state target for conservation, 16%.
And you contrast that with some other cities. City of Moorpark, for
yeah.
example, which is going to have to achieve a water savings of 32%. We're at 16, and I'm very proud of our residents, Brad. We here in Ventura use 91 per capita gallons per day. You contrast that with the Las Virgenes Water District. And
Calabasas.
Calabasas, they're up at 300.
Right.
So our residents get the message. They're conserving already. We put in place some restrictions. You can only water twice a week. You have to do so before 9 and
Right.
after 6. And we also use in the city of Ventura reclaimed water that's treated and put back into our golf courses and the area around the harbor.
Let me ask about those restrictions, because look, you've already achieved a 14% conservation rate in the last year. That's amongst the highest on this list. Not many are in double digits. You only got to go another 16%, but have you topped out? Because you already hit 14 in 1 year. Where do you go from here?
We think we have more we can do. This summer we will implement a conservation plan that will enable residents to get up to $800 in turf replacement and up to $300 in irrigation device replacement. So for example, people can move their outdated or inefficient sprinkler systems to microspray or drip systems. They can use that $300 credit to put in mulch and compost. We want to encourage individuals to take out their grass. It is the thirstiest plant. Put in drought-resistant plants instead.
But let's talk about grass.
Sure.
Because, you know, I've learned recently that each product goes through its day being the scapegoat. It was almonds last month, It was pistachios the month before. Grass is kind of the scapegoat du jour. And I understand that. I mean, look, grass is very thirsty. But I do want to just take the other side. And as a former lawyer talking to a current lawyer, I think we'll have fun with this. This is a hypothetical.
Okay.
Grass is necessary for the O2 CO2 exchange. Grass is necessary to prevent soil erosion. Grass is necessary to deal with excessive heat. And so, well, yes, we need to look at the grass. Are we just on the scapegoat du jour, and maybe we should really look at this question?
You look at household water use. 80% of a household water use goes towards landscaping. To your point, we do need to keep our shrubs and trees going. They are important to our environment. They're important to our city. But nevertheless, when you have 80% of the water coming into your household going towards outdoor landscaping, which for the most part is fairly aesthetic in nature, you have to say, we're in a dire situation. Something needs to be done.
And let's talk about those aesthetics, because in addition to artificial turf, the new popular plant du jour is California natives. But when you think about California natives, you know, all of a sudden I conjure up Palm Springs and the cacti.
Rock gardens.
Rock gardens. And so, but I've learned that it's not necessarily Palm Springs rock gardens. California natives can be quite beautiful, no?
Absolutely. I mean, the Surfrider Foundation
yes.
assists individuals with coming up with plans for drought-resistant, ocean-friendly gardens that are aesthetically pleasing. You'll be pleased, as well your spouse, as well the neighbors. It still looks great, and it helped conserve water for our city.
I was talking to someone recently who represents the city of Malibu, And I reminded her, I'm not sure if you know this, but both Malibu and Ventura have oceans in front of them. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
I did know that.
You have the Pacific. Yeah, the Pacific. And I mentioned to her, and now I'll mention to you, your friends in Santa Barbara, they are looking at reactivating a desalination plant.
Sure.
And there's a lot of excitement surrounding desal. There's a lot of nerves surrounding desal because it can be expensive. But Santa Barbara's looking at reactivating. Cambria has one online in San Luis Obispo County. Your friends in Cambria, in Carlsbad in San Diego County, they're going to have a huge one. So look, I mean, Ventura's not an insignificant sized city. Have you thought about the desal option?
We've considered it among others, but it's incredibly expensive.
Right.
I mean, the city of Santa Barbara will have to spend about $40 million getting the mothball desal plant up online. What I'm most excited about is the prospect of using UV and other methods to treat water that was typically or formerly wastewater and make it potable or drinkable.
And let me ask you about gray water, because gray water, again, it can be the scapegoat du jour. I'm not doing toilet to tap. I mean, but gray water is more than toilet to tap. Am I right, sir?
Absolutely. I mean, gray water is taking the water that was in your washing machine or that you're using around the house and saying,
shower.
Let's not lose it. Let's not send it down the sanitation system.
Right.
Let's go ahead and use it again to feed the trees and the shrubs that we want to keep going.
The challenge, though, I'm not sure about Ventura City specifically, but there are many jurisdictions that really limit gray water because we were in an era where we had plenty of water and we were very afraid of what could be in the detergent. Now some cities, some counties, even the state's looking at rejiggering regulations. Does Ventura need to do that? Do you know?
Well, we're already working with state regulatory agencies to do just that. There are hurdles that we need to surmount in order to use reclaimed water in the city. We need permits to do so.
Right.
So, for example, what we want to do at our parks and our street medians is take reclaimed water and use that water on a portable basis to feed those medians, to feed the trees
Are you
at the
going to
parks.
keep the medians with grass? Because some cities are yanking them.
Well, we have very few medians with grass already. In fact, on Victoria, very close to where we are today, they planted some drought-friendly plants, and there's some stone formation. So it's water conscious already.
Okay.
But the whole idea is let's use trucks, let's use equipment in our fleet to go out to these locations with water that we would otherwise lose, and let's put it back into our trees and our shrubs to keep them going.
What else is happening in your city? A city which already has done its best to conserve, but to get to that 16%, you may need to take some more drastic measures. You may need to start imposing fines. As you know, the governor is authorizing that. Your water agency, which is run by the city, has that authority now. Are you going down that path?
They do. In fact, Brad, we gave them the authority last year to have a graduated fine structure.
Any fines yet?
There have only been about 7.
Oh, but there have been.
Yeah,
I mean, some jurisdictions have had 0.
But for the most part, people are complying with the ordinance. They're watering when they're supposed to. They're limiting it to 2 days a week. They're not using nozzles that are inefficient. They're not spraying down their driveways.
Do you have code enforcers, or is it neighbors calling neighbors?
Well, it's voluntary in nature. And what we do to folks is let's educate them. Hey, here's our ordinance. This is how you can follow it. And that's been successful. I mean, out of a city of 110,000 to only have 7 violators is extremely successful. We're not here to penalize people. We're here to give them the information on the ordinance.
But should we be here to penalize people? I know you don't want to say that as a council member, but this is a dire situation. And do we need to take much more serious action to create conservation?
Sure. And what we've done is we've come up with water shortage contingency plans. It's a 6-stage plan. We're at stage 3 right now. And stage 3 calls for the 20% overall reduction. If we go to stage 4, which we may very well do this fall, we're requiring anybody who wants to build to either transfer their water rights to us in order to do so, or to go ahead and pay for additional water supply.
His name is Erik Nasarenko. He is the deputy mayor of the city of Ventura, where we are today. We thank you for watching us on Charter California Edition.